Are you a photographer that's looking to diversify and break into business branding photography? Then today we have a special treat for you as we're interviewing LA's top personal branding photographer, Bernadette Marciniak, and she shares how she made the transition from wedding photography into being a business branding photographer. Let's go. Before we get into our video, if you are new to our channel and are interested in all things growing your photography business in the market you're in or the market you want to be in, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our new content. And so Bernadette, I'm going to have you kind of introduce yourself.
I am Bernadette, Jersey girl living in Los Angeles now, loving every minute of it. I do miss pizza and bagels, but the tacos over here make up for it.
She moved her business from New Jersey to LA, and how did that affect your business when you moved?
It was actually probably the best thing that ever happened to my business, because when I was living in New Jersey, I was still working a 9-to-5 in journalism. And while I was building or trying to build a wedding photography business out there, the 9-to-5 kind of always took precedence. And I can say all the live long day that I was building a business in New Jersey. I wasn't. It was just something that I loved doing, and while I would have loved to leave the 9-to-5, I wasn't doing exactly what I needed to do to create something sustainable out of it. So I was kind of feeling like I wanted to expand, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I didn't look for another 9-to-5 when we first moved here. I thought to myself, okay, this is it. This is my chance to build my business, and I remember before we had any furniture, I was sitting on the ground on my laptop, still completing the Restart Specialist course. I was like jotting down, I'd printed everything out before we moved and brought it with me. It was part of our like small stuff of baggage that we brought. So
if you don't mind sharing, how did you make that pivot? Because anybody can take a course, and most of us don't finish them. And or apply them sometimes. So how did you pivot from weddings to branding photography?
Now looking back at it in retrospect, I can tell you it made sense in all the right ways. Coming from a background in journalism, I've been a storyteller for most of my life. Coming from the wedding photography side of things, when I was using my time off from the journalism career to watch webinars and like watching photographers become entrepreneurs and understanding what that online entrepreneur space looked like, I understood who the ideal clients were who would need our services. And it's funny because the pivot actually helped me define my own brand when it comes to wedding photography. So hopefully before the end of the year, I'll jumpstart that back up. I still do weddings, but yes, I haven't marketed it with this new discovery of my own personal brand in it.
What are some things that you'd say the top 3 things you've learned as a branding photographer?
So the top 3 things I learned there is that a pushback is not a failure. That was a hard lesson for me to learn this year, because I had some clients who may have said like, this isn't really feeling right. And my go-to reaction was always like, oh God, I failed this. I did such a bad job. They're never coming back. And they always are repeat clients, which is the funny thing. We all hear this a lot in the entrepreneur space, but you know more than you think. I know a lot of people are hesitant to make any sort of moves or jumps because they don't feel like they're well equipped or have all the information. You don't have all the information. You may not be as equipped as you want to, but that shouldn't stop you from going and doing it anyway. And in-person networking is by far the biggest source of success, and not even success professionally, but personally. For me, I used to go to networking events with this selfish idea of like, okay, my next client could be here, don't mess this up. And while that's true, I love the fact that like my network is so big out here for anything that I might need. And I have photographers and other entrepreneurs coming up to me all the time being like, how did you build such a network? And it was all in-person networking. And actually, something that you guys introduced me to when I was going through the Restart course, mindset. Mindset matters over anything else when you're doing brand photography, wedding photography, whatever endeavor you're going on. Mindset is going to be the block that you have to get through in order to be successful. And it's funny because like I remember it not clicking right away. You have to be ready to receive that information. But now I'm like going back and rereading all the books from your course because after going and getting upset about so many things so many times, it finally started to make sense.
So, top 3 no-nos as a branding photographer. Top 2 to 3 things that you'd say to somebody who's wanting to get into this, or maybe somebody that's wanting to be a client. What would you tell them?
So, the thing about branding photography is that it is in itself such a pivot from traditional photography that if you're going to do it the right way, you have to let go of a lot of stuff that you've learned up until now. 2 of the biggest things under that umbrella are first of all, you can't sell your photos without providing your clients with a commercial license. And if you're a client, make sure you are not working with a photographer who won't provide you, or just make sure that you get the commercial license, because otherwise you're going to be sitting on these images that you can look at on your computer as a vanity project, but you won't be able to use them to promote your business. So does that come with a little bit higher of a price tag? Absolutely. So the next thing, and I can already hear the cries of every photographer out there, and this is my personal take on it, because I know not every branding photographer will agree with me. You have to allow your clients to crop and edit and filter their photos. I know it's hard to watch. I just did a shoot recently, and I watched my photo filtered and all of this. I had a client tell me that they can't wait to put filters on the photos. But I like to show my clients pictures as I take them from the back of the camera. I know that that's just a personal thing because I want to make sure that they're happy with the way they're appearing on it. It's a much more collaborative project than traditional portraiture or traditional photography the way we know it. You were mentioning the laptop life, coffee cup photos earlier, and as much as that is part of probably most of our brands, that sort of curated Instagram feed is not going to be what stops the scroll anymore. So I actually, when somebody books with me, it's a 1-month runway for them to fill out a welcome packet with a very, very, I don't like saying intense questionnaire because that has a negative connotation, but I really want them to dive deep into their brand. And in that regard, I become more than just a brand photographer. I am a little bit of a brand strategist, helping them navigate what story they want to be telling about their business, because that's when you put everything together, that's going to be what they're sharing with their own audiences.
If you are looking to get better images that represent the brand that you truly are in your marketing, then make sure that you head to the show notes below and book a discovery call with us today. If you are looking to learn more about branding photography, then make sure that you head to the video here. And if you have liked this content and want more like it, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and that like button to let us know, and we'll create more content just like this. Thanks so much for watching.